Hi, my name is Marvin Nelson. I'm with the Marketing and Sales Group here at HotDocs. I'll be the one conducting this webinar today. The webinar will take about 25 minutes or so, and then at the end we'll have time to answer some of your questions. So feel free to type those into the GoToWebinar panel at any time, and then we can address those at the end. So thank you for taking the time to watch this Document Services webinar. To start things off, let's give you just a little bit of background on HotDocs. HotDocs has been around for about 20 years, and we're the market leader when it comes to document automation, document assembly software, and technology. We have over 1 million users worldwide, and among those include about 80% of the AmLaw 200, which are the top law firms in the United States, 20% of the Fortune 500, most of the top banks, and many of the top insurance companies in the U.S., as well as a significant presence among law firms, both solo attorneys all the way up to these large law firms. And not only do we have a presence here in the United States, but also globally we have a significant presence as well. And right now we're currently working on a big project with the Department of Justice to put in about 15,000 seats with them. So we have some big projects in the works. And HotDocs is really all about helping organizations reduce costs. And that's done by allowing you to create better quality documents very quickly and for a lot less money. And it's all done through this document automation technology. And now I want to talk to you about the next generation of cost reduction. And that's basically what it does. It starts with your content and your material. And these can be Word, WordPerfect, or PDF forms. And then using HotDocs, you create these dynamic and powerful templates that you then use to create, high-quality documents very quickly. And HotDocs initially was available primarily just in a desktop environment. Pardon me. And then we came out with HotDocs Server about 10 years ago. And Server was a solution really ideal for enterprises with hundreds, thousands of users producing a massive amount of documentation on a daily basis. And then this year we came out with the cloud-based service called Document Services. And one of the main reasons we came out with this is because the server-based product was just either cost prohibitive or too technical for somebody if they've only got a handful of people in their office, 2 or 3 people. It just was a solution that was overkill for that type of situation. And that's why we came out with the Document Services solution, because it kind of filled that gap between, say, a solo individual all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. It can kind of bridge that gap between the two different offerings that we had. So it's called Document Services, and the way it works is it's a web-based service that has all the functionality of all your current HotDocs templates, and you're able to reduce a lot of your costs primarily through what are called client interviews. And this is the piece that we specifically want to focus on today during the demo. So what we want to show you is this client engagement where you interact with the client to produce a finished document in a very, very quick manner. Okay, I'll bring up the software now. You can see how it looks. Okay, to start things off, let's actually draw out a scenario. Let's say you're with a law firm, Daly & Skinner, and you're the one of the partners there, Matthew Daly, and you've got now this is an example I'm throwing out. This is for a law firm, but by no means is this a legal specific software. I mean, this could work for banks, insurance companies, organizations, businesses, all kinds of different entities. But for this scenario, we're going to specifically talk about a law firm. So let's assume you're with Daly & Skinner, and you're one of the partners there. And you have a client, Jake Linden, who needs some assistance producing a will. So using Document Services, you have 3 ways that you can create a will for your client. The first option is you can put a link directly on your website. So you can just tell a client to go to your website, and they click on a link, and then they can fill out the HotDocs interview over the web. So that's the first option. The second way you can do it is you can just email, so you send by email a link to your client, and then your client securely logs in and fills out the interview, HotDocs interview. The third option is you can just fill it out on your own without any interaction with the client. You can just fill that out online. So I'm going to quickly show you how those three different methods work. So let's first start with the website link. So once you have your templates uploaded to your site, you can take links to those templates and post those on your corporate site. So you can see here, this is a Daly & Skinner website, and they have a link, some links down here to some different forms. So you can simply tell Jake to go to your website. He clicks on this link here, and it opens, excuse me, it opens up the sign-in screen where Jake can log in. Now Jake's been to the site before, so he has a current password. Now if you were new to the service, password would be assigned to him, which he could then use to log into the site to fill out the interview. Okay, so it's a secure login here. So Jake signs in. And so what the client sees, what Jake sees, is the HotDocs interview, which is basically the questions that you have designed. And so you've organized the questions, you've presented them in a manner that you want them presented. And Jake only sees the questions, so he doesn't see the actual document itself or the actual template. All he sees are these questions. So from the client's perspective, it just feels like they're just providing you with some basic information, and they're just doing it online. So it's just a convenient way for them to provide it and then for you to receive it, as opposed to them, manually writing something down or coming into your office, or just sending an email or something like that. So it's an easy way for them to fill this out online. And what's nice is you can put in, check boxes and drop-down lists and multiple choice options, so you can make it very user-friendly for your client. Okay, so Jake here, he fills out some information. There's a fill-in-the-blank questions. Let's see, gender, this is so I can get the pronouns correct. So here's a drop-down list. What's interesting here is you can see that as this status is changed, this question either appears or disappears. So the interview can be very dynamic. So it's not just a static set of questions. You can actually have it dynamic so that your client's only filling out what's relevant to him or her. Now for this scenario, we've got an autofill feature. We'll just click on that, and that way this will, you don't have to see us go in and fill out everything on this interview. So you can see there's more multiple choice options. Click over here. This information is filled out on his children, disposition. You can really design these questions. Some of these, they're a little more designed for the attorney, so you understand how to fill them out. So you may want to make some things a little user-friendly so that your client will very easily know how to fill them out. And the gifts, everything's filled out. Okay, so now your client has two options. He can either save his answers and sign out, and then come back to it at a later time. It's like, let's say you've designed a very lengthy questionnaire with a lot of information you're requesting, and the client may need to come back and forth a couple times to fill it out. And so if he saves his answers, signs out, and comes back to it, he can pick right up where he left off. Now the other option is to submit answers. So once the interview is totally complete and Jake is ready to send his information on to you and he's all done, then all he needs to do is click on the submit button, and it gives him a warning. It lets him know that he won't be able to come back to this particular interview once he submits his answers. So he goes ahead and hits OK, and it shows the interview is complete, and he can simply sign out, and he's done. Close that out. Okay, so now what happens on your end? So you'll get an email notification that lets you know that Jake has filled out that interview. So you don't need to be signed into the service to see if he's filled it out. You'll get an email that lets you know that he's done. Then what you would do is simply sign into your account with Document Services, this secure login. And then once you sign in, you're able to see there's a home screen here that you go to, and you can see that that interview was filled out by Jake. So what you would do is simply click on this interview here. You can also see other documents and activity that's recent clients and templates that have been worked on. And so you click on that, and it brings up the information here on your client. So Jake, he filled out the interview, and there were two documents, a will and a power of attorney, which were both created from that single set of answers that he provided. And now what you can do is, if you want, you can click on View Interview. This gives you the ability to quickly check the answers before you actually download the documents. So you can open up the interview, and then you will see how all the questions were answered by the client. You can go through here, quickly check everything, make sure it looks okay. And if you see something that looks strange, like, okay, he's gifting a pony, and he doesn't even have a pony, you can go over here and delete that. So you can actually modify, change information that's provided if you need to, resubmit the answers. And then what this does is it actually updates the documents that were created from this answer file based on that revision that you just made. So now this will and this power of attorney are both updated because you just made that change. And then a history of your activities tracked down here. Now you can download the finished document, and you can open it up in Word. You can see here's the Daly and Skinner logo. You got your finished form, got your table, all the bullet points are adjusted appropriately, and everything's ready to go. So you've got your finished document. You can just print it out or put it in your document management system or whatever you need to. Because at this point, it's just a normal Word document. It's as if it was never even created in HotDocs. We'll just go ahead and close that. And you can download the power of attorney and any other documents. You can also download your answers. So if you want to use your answers, again, in a desktop environment, you can download the XML file here. And you can repurpose those answers if you need to. Or you can archive the document. So then it shows it as being completed and it's done, and you can archive it on the site. Or you can delete the documents that were created. So this is the first option, where you had the website link and the client clicked on the link and filled it out over the web. Now the next option that you have is to request client interview. This is where you can send an email directly to your client. So instead of having a link on your website, or maybe you don't even have a website, you can just email a link to your client, and then he or she can just fill it out online. So what you would do is you'd click on the request client interview button. You'd select your client, and then it populates this email. This is an email that's completely customizable by you, so you can have it say whatever you want, have your contact information, so forth. You click on the send button, and it sends an email link for that document to the client, and it shows that it's waiting a response from the client, and it tracks it here in the history. Now let me pull up the email account of your client so you can see what that email looks like. So I'll open that up here, and then this is in his Gmail account, in his inbox. You can see from Matthew Daly, there's your email address, and it shows that it was sent directly to the client, and it's personalized. So dear Jake Linden, information that you choose to put in the email, and has your contact info here, and then he just simply clicks on this link, and then it brings up the sign-in screen where he logs in and fills out the questionnaire. It's the same questionnaire that we already filled out, so I won't go back in there. Now, if you were new to the service, password would be given to him in that email, and he could change his password if he needed to. Let's go ahead and close that out. So I just wanted to quickly show you how that looked from the client's perspective. Okay, so those are two options now. So there's the website link we addressed, and then the email link that you can send out to the client from your site. But also a copy of that email gets sent to you. So in your inbox, you can track that activity as well. Now the third option that you have is to go to the templates section of your of your site. And then this will show you all the templates that you have uploaded to Document Services. So these would represent your documents, because we don't supply you with the content. So you would basically take your content, your material, and upload it to the site. And if you needed to fill out one of these templates, you can simply click on the template and fill out the interview online. So there's no interaction with the client, but you're the one actually filling in the questions. And it's that same format that I already showed you. So I'll skip filling that out here. You can put descriptions. You can easily manage your templates, delete them. Click on this to get a link so you can put on your website. Change the names on these if you need to. And then you can organize them under these different categories. So we provide you with a lot of default categories, but you can easily delete them or add your own categories to it. So like if you wanted to, let's see, just look at family law forms, for instance. You click on that, and then it shows the template you have. If you wanted to add, let's say, a commercial to that, click that, and then you can see a commercial agreement, banking. Click there, and then you got a non-disclosure agreement and some other ones. So you can show that you can easily, filter. So if you have a lot of templates on the service, you can easily filter through them. And you can download your configuration and your component files. And this gives you the functionality so you can upload your templates from Developer 10.2. So that was the third option, where you just fill it out on your own online. There's no interaction with the client, so you don't do the client interview. Here's a Clients tab where you can go in and manage your different clients. You can add new ones or delete them. And it'll show the open documents that they have, as well as the total documents that have been assigned to them, and then who in your organization was assigned to that client. And you can easily filter these, and you can see just ones with open documents, so that's pending a client interview, and ones that are disclosed. And then you can group it and click on this to see, other people in your organization and which clients that they work with. Then there's a Settings tab. You can click over here, and this will show you where you can upload your logo and your contact information. And you can change the taxonomies, which are the groups, how you organize your templates. There's a Users tab where you can add additional users for your organization. The client interview, where you can set that up, what the interview looks like, the email looks like when you send that out, and then just some basic, terms, billing history, IP restriction. That's more of a technical feature to add some additional levels of security to the site. And then the Documents, the last tab I want to show you here. Under the Documents section here, you can see all the documents that you've created on the service and the status, whether they're open or archived, when it happened, who the user was, the last activity. And you can also go in and filter these as well, either by user, by client, or filter them on status, like whether they're open or closed or archived. And then you can even do a search if you need to. And you can always download your documents and just delete them off the site, or you can leave them there, whatever you need to. Okay, well, I hope this gave you a good feel for how the software works and a good overview. Let's jump back over here to the slideshow, and we'll wrap this up. Okay, so this is a quick recap. This was some pretty powerful software here. It has all the functionality of your current HotDocs templates that you can use online. And your clients, they don't have any software requirements. So your client can be on a PC or on a Mac, and actually fairly soon we'll have iPad functionality available as well. And then for yourself as well, if you're on a Mac or a PC and you want to fill these out online, then it's easy for you to do so. And there's no IT administrative requirements, so you don't need to have, you don't need to outsource this or tie up all your IT staff to get this all set up and running, because we're the ones that offer you the service. We've got it all built and ready to go. And also, as far as hardware requirements, you don't have to have any HotDocs server technology on your end, like any hardware equipment to work with it. And then also the industry-leading security. We were working with Microsoft Azure. That's the technology behind all this. And that's the backbone, I guess I should say. And it's as secure as we can possibly make it. And we have some great documentation about this on our website. If you go to go to our blog or go to the Document Services section of our website, and we have some information in there that specifically goes over the security and how that's all set up. Now, it's available anytime, anywhere. So if you're traveling or you're on the road or you're at a client site, you can easily access your templates remotely. In those client interviews, that ability to interact with your client and gain information from them over the web. And it's available now. We've had this out for a while. We've got a lot of people using it with some great success. So we'd love to talk to you about your office, your organization. And oops, I went just a little bit too far. So I'd love to talk to you about your organization and talk about your needs specifically. So feel free to give us a call or send us an email, and we'd be happy to, specifically talk about your needs and see what we can help you with. So thank you again for taking the time to join us for this webinar today, and I hope this gave you a good feel for what Document Services is all about. And we do have additional webinars, an intro to HotDocs webinar and one on HotDocs Server, if you'd like additional information on those offerings that we have. So thank you again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.